Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Anthea's Analogies. Good morning. Good morning to you, Ermin. Lovely to see you. Good morning. Come on in. Anthea's Analogies, where I take something, compare it to something else to help me better understand my relationship with God. Now, no analogy works fully, especially when it comes to an analogy looking at God. So do ask, don't resist, relate. Take the message that you get from it. Good morning, good morning. Yes, please do put your comments in. Let me know that you're with me. Good morning, Yvonne. Good morning, Rosie. Lovely to see you. Good morning. And to those of you who will pop on either now or later. Good morning, Mom. Good morning, Margaret. Good morning, Angela. Good morning, Phyllis. Good morning to you all. Good morning, good morning. Come on in. Right. Number 65, people. We're racking them up. We're racking them up. This one I've called security doors. Now, the Lord brought back a memory to me. This was a while ago, and I don't know if these doors still exist, but I do think they do exist in some kind of fashion. Good morning, Sue. Now, I went to the bank many years ago. It was one in one of the banks anyway. Went through the door, and then I found in a very short distance in front of me another door, and it had a red light and a green light. And all I know is I went through the door, and I was just confused. I don't know what was going on. I didn't know why there was a need for this door in front of me. Two doors surrounded by glass. I felt trapped. I walked through the first door and I just felt trapped inside this thing. I'm pushing the door in front of me and it's not opening. The light was red. I was like, and I started to like panic. I could see myself starting to panic. And I'm pushing the door and thinking, why is it not opening? But I'm already within this section of the building, and now I had to wait for the first door that I entered to close. The light then turns green, and then the second door opens, unlocks, so that you can then open it and go in. One set of confusion that morning, and I thought to myself, what is going on? It's glass all around. Everybody can see me panicking inside this thing. I don't know if I have claustrophobia or whatever it is of small spaces. So I don't know. I started to panic, fighting with these doors, and everyone's watching me. I think somebody then indicated you got to wait for the door behind you to close before you could open the front door. But it was just confusion. And my whole time in that bank was trying to figure out what was going on with these doors. When I was in the queue, I'm looking at other people, and everyone knows, you could see everyone knows what to do. They walked in, they waited for the first door to close. Then you see them casually just push the next door and go in. And I thought to myself, oh, okay, so I'm probably the only one that doesn't know about this. But you learn something new every day. Anyway, that being said, little traumatic experience for me. God brought it back to my mind, and it's the foundation of my analogy today. So have a think about this. It was a security door. I don't know if places, businesses still do this, um, but I think they do in some kind of fashion. You go through the first door, you have to wait for the first door to actually close, and then it unlocks the other door in front so that you can then go through. I guess it's to secure people from rushing in and out if they wanted to break in the bank or whatever. I don't know what the reason is, but all I know is it confused me. Good morning, Paula. Good morning, Vera. Good morning, Karen. Sister Karen, good morning. Silent partner, good morning. So, security doors, bear that in mind. Think about that in your mind when we talk about the analogy today, because God brought it to my mind because it says that it was almost like he was saying, I shut the door on your past. God shuts the door on your past and prepares you for your future, the door in front of you. But there is a stage in between where you have to work in the middle. Yes? Does everyone understand that? When you go through the front door, you have to wait until the door closes, the first door closes, before the next door opens. And God was showing me that He has to close the door on you. We have to close the door on our past before we go through the next door into our future. And God is there preparing for our future. Now, in Mark chapter 1, verse 2, that's Mark chapter 1, verse 2, it says, just as the prophet Isaiah had written, look, I am sending my messenger ahead of you, and he will prepare your way. So until we close the door on our past and we're in the middle, just working it through, God has gone ahead already and prepared our future, which is why when we go beyond the next door, we then see what God has prepared for us. So He can't open the door of our future until we close the door of our past. Now, how many of us live in the past? How many of us recount, oh, but this happened and that happened, but I've done this and I've done that, but this person hurt me back then and it's still affecting me now. How many of us live in the past? And this morning, God is saying to me, we need to close the door on our past. Keep our head focused about what's in front of us, where God has gone ahead of us to prepare the way. If we're too focused looking back on the past, looking back, it's just like me not understanding that I have to wait till the first door to close before the next door can open. God is asking us to let go of the past, close the door on that before we can move forward and go in, which is why He reminded me of these traumatic security doors that had me in the middle. And we're in that middle right now as we're living our lives. We're in that middle. And it may be glass around and we may be panicking and we may be thinking, why is this happening to me? Why am I going through these things? Everybody can see me. I'm being condemned and judged along the way, and all of these thoughts whilst you're in the middle. And God is saying, just close the door on your past. Close it. Once you close it, it releases what's in front of you, what I've prepared for you, and it releases you to be able to walk through. Amen? Right. So, we have to let go of our habits, our perspectives. We have to start taking control of our minds. Telling our minds, right, you keep thinking about these things, these negative things that go on. I need you to refocus. We take control of our minds. I want to go to Philippians chapter 3, verse 13 next. Philippians chapter 3, verse 13. And it says, no, dear brothers and sisters, I have not achieved it, but I focus on this one thing, forgetting the past and looking forward to what lies ahead. Philippians 3:13. No, dear brothers and sisters, I have not achieved it, but I focus on this one thing, forgetting the past and looking forward to what lies ahead. You may not have achieved it. You may not feel that you're in a position at the moment where it's conducive to the plans that you have in your head, and you think that you may be stuck. I thought I was trapped and I started to panic. When you start to panic, that is when things get a bit unstable, things get a bit worrying, things get a bit stressful, things start to pile on top of you. And that's what the enemy likes to do, to distract us so that we panic in the middle. And then we feel like we've got everyone watching us, and we've got all the judgment going on, and we've got all of the rare tear, all of it weighing down. God's saying, focus on one thing. Focus on me. Just focus on me. You'll remain calm. You'll be at peace. Focus on me, and I'll show you how to get through the challenges, how to sit in that middle, how to navigate it. I'm not going to say that I'm going to take it away from you, because there's challenges. We will always face challenges in life. But I will, as long as you remain focused on me, you will get through. I will give you the peace you need. Keep your head forward. Keep your head straight. Keep looking forward and focus on me. Forgetting the past, because that's what we need to close the door on. Some of us are standing there holding that first door, wondering why we can't move into our future. Because it's locked. It's waiting for you to close the first door, so that it can unlock the second one. Some of us are standing in the gap of the doorway, every minute peeping back, pulling back the things of the past. Oh, but woe is me. Look what I did. Look at this. But this happened to me. Look at that. It's still affecting me. This happened. We're still got the first door open. And in all God's waiting for us to do is to close that door. Let it go. Close that door in the past. Let it go. Keep looking forward. Proverbs 4, verse 25. Proverbs 4, verse 25 says, look straight ahead and fix your eyes on what lies before you. Look straight ahead and fix your eyes on what lies before you. What are we focusing on, people? Half the time we're focusing on the wrong things. And God just reminded me today to close the door on your past. Close it. Because that's what's got you trapped in the middle, panicking, running around like a headless chicken, wondering what's going on. Now, yesterday, Karen spoke about our passions and our giftings. What is it that we are good at? What is it that we are striving for? What is it that makes us tick? And it got me thinking. There was a question that came in my head. So I'm going to ask you all now. If God appeared and said to you that he would grant you what your heart truly desires, all you have to do is ask. What are you asking for? If God appeared to you now and said he would grant you what your heart truly desires, what are you asking for? Because if it's one thing I know, whenever I ask anyone What's your passions? What are you good at? It's like, oh, I'm not really good at anything. I'm not really, I'm not sure. Okay, let's change the question slightly. What does your heart truly desire? God appeared to you today and said, I will give you what your heart truly desires. Just ask me for what it is you want. What are you asking for? What are you asking for? I mean, I'm not asking you to put it in the comments. That's a personal thing to you. What are you asking for? But have a think about that. I sat there and I thought to myself, oh wow, what would I ask for? What is close to my heart? What is, you know, what's my passion? What is it that I love? What is it that I would ask God for right now in my life if He was to grant something? And the answer to that question will dictate our prayers. Do we go to God and ask God in our prayers for that thing that we desire so much? Does God know? Does God even know? Of course, He knows your heart, but are we taking it to Him? Are we expressing it to Him? Are we imagining in our head what that is? Are we imagining? Are we dreaming? Are we dreaming and imagining the things that we desire? What's that going to look like? How is it going to play out in life? These things we have to imagine. We have to imagine it. It's almost like we have to put the concept in our mind first in order to bring it into reality. So we have to start imagining it and thinking about it. What is it that you desire? Where do you desire to be? Are you looking forward as opposed to looking back at what happened? How would you like things to look in the future? What does that look like for you? And as Karen said, we did this yesterday. Some of you should know by now. And remember, she'll be asking you tomorrow. Yes, she will be asking you tomorrow. So, what I will say is close that first door. Forget the past. Look forward. Look forward. Step into the next door. Look to see what's beyond that next door that God has already gone forward to prepare for you. Amen. The trouble is the enemy likes to keep us in our past, and we have to shut the door and be expectant of what is beyond the door in front. Yes? So in Ezekiel 1, Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 12. Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 12 says, they went in whatever direction the Spirit chose, and they moved straight forward in any direction without turning around. They went in whatever direction the Spirit chose. We are led by the Spirit. If we allow ourselves to be led by the Spirit, we will move straight forward in any direction without turning around. And every time we look back to the past, every time we draw back on things that happened back when we were a totally different person, because we're changing all the time, it's drawing us backwards. It's setting us backwards. It's stopping us from moving forward with God, moving forward in the Spirit. And what we do is we condemn ourselves and we end up being trapped. Today's daily devotion, as you know, Rev Smiler Spice sends out a daily devotion. And it was interesting today as it spoke in line with what I'm saying right now. It says, when we face hardships, bad breaks, and disappointments, it seems like the enemy is in control. We want to fight, resist, and get upset. But God is saying, don't resist anymore. Don't fight it. Don't panic like I did. Don't live bitter. Don't try to get even. I'm still directing your steps. Yes, resist the sickness, resist the addiction, but don't live upset, living in the past. God didn't stop what was unfair because it's leading you to your destiny. You don't know what God is up to. You don't know what's beyond the door in front. You can't see that on the other side of that crucifixion is a resurrection. And we are very quickly drawing close to entering the Lent season and thinking about the crucifixion and the resurrection. We don't know what's on the other side of that door. God has gone ahead and prepared. But as long as we're holding on to the past, we won't see. We won't be focused on that. All we're focusing is on what happened as opposed of what could be. On the other side of the betrayal, the sickness, or the disappointment is a new level of your destiny. Stop resisting and start trusting. That was the devotion this morning. I think it ties in well in what we're saying. As long as we remain focused, let go of the past, look forward instead of turning back or looking back, look forward and focus on where God has prepared a way for you. So the song we're going to listen to this morning is called I've Decided to Follow Jesus. No turning back, no turning back. And some of the words, some of the verses is, though I may wander, still I will follow. We may wander in the middle, but as long as we remain focused and keep moving forward and not turning back. The world behind me, the cross before me. Though none go with me, still I will follow. You may be alone. You may be feeling alone. But as long as you remain focused and know that God is with you and know that God has prepared a way, you will still follow. And the last verse is, will you decide now to follow Jesus? Or will you resist, like it says in the devotion? Make that decision. It's a choice. It's a choice we make to close that first door. It's a choice we make to let go of the past. It's a choice we make not to turn back. It's a choice. Free will we all have. It's a choice that we have to make and be intentional about not doing that. Refocusing our minds on looking forward instead of regurgitating the past. So let's have a listen to this song this morning. Really take in the words and think to yourself, what is it that I need to let go of? What is it that I need to shut the door on? What is it that I need to change in my thought processes to move me to close that door? Let's have a listen.
I've made my mind to follow Jesus. And from I made that decision, my life has never been the same. to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back, no turning back. Though I may wander, still I will follow. Though I may wander, still I will follow. Though I may wander, still I will follow. No turning back, no turning back. Father, we worship you, oh Lord. Oh, oh, oh. Yes, Lord. Oh, yeah. No way behind me, the cross before me. The world behind me, yes, the cross before me. The world behind me, the cross before me. No turning back, no turning back. Don't go with me, still I will follow. Don't go with me, still I will follow. Don't no one go with me, yes, Jesus, I will still follow. No turning back, no turning back. Will you decide now just to follow my Jesus? Will you decide now just to follow my Lord? Will you decide now just to follow Jesus? No turning back. Hey.
Amen. Amen. No turning back. Will you decide now? Be intentional. Make the decision. Close the door. Free yourself. Let go. And just remain focused. God has already prepared the way and has prepared something better than you could ever imagine for yourself beyond that second door. Amen. Join us tomorrow for Thankful Fridays, where Karen will be asking you what your passions are. So prepare and join us tomorrow as we thank God for going to prepare the way and for all that He has done for us. Amen. Have a blessed day, everyone. Bye bye.